Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I'm joined once again by VulcanHDGaming.
Good morning, good evening, and good day everyone. Super excited to be back.
In this one we're going to be having a look at game 2 of a best of 3 between Fanty and Gonzo in Season 7 of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they're going to be playing on Siedlce. And on our left, in the red team, playing on the Allied side, we have Gonzo using the 358th rifles and the balanced deployment type. And on our right, in the blue team, playing on the Axis side, we have Fanty using the Gebirgsjager and the Maverick deployment type.
We can already see here Fanty is declaring... honestly, I understand. He's saying, I'm scared after what he did to me last game.
Feels a bit violated.
I can understand that.
So what do you think about these decks?
358 has kind of seen a resurgence recently in the 1v1 community. I don't remember ever playing against this deck a few months ago, and all of a sudden now this thing's like the bee's knees of Soviet divisions. It got a little bit of a buff in that, love patch that they did, and I mean, it does pretty well now. I'm not a fan of it personally, but I'm mostly an Axis player, so I'm not the guy to axe. The 5th Gebirgsjager, this is not my division of choice. I'll be honest with you. It functions very similarly to the 28th Jaeger. It's got the special infantry called Gebirgsjagers that are kind of like hybrid, good at both close and long range. What makes it so strong is that it just has a lot of great support weapons. Everything's really aggressively costed, so you get a great combination of firepower from that division. It's from the new Italian DLC, so it is very strong.
Yeah, the nice thing about it, it's got really decent value for money infantry, except from obviously in the latest patch when they got nerfed. But I believe they were probably playing on the patch because this is on the special viewer, so this would have been, I think, before that nerf potentially. We will see when we're able to check out the information on the cards. But yeah, on the 358th, he does have the Gebirgsjager for the really strong close range. It's a very nice division, and it does have the bombers, the big bombers, the year 3s, are they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in 1v1, those can get quite a lot of work done because they have, well, there's never really that much AA. But let's have a look at what's going down here. So for the top side, for Gonzo, he's got the Maxims and the infantry gun. Also has this 2 up there. Further down, he's got 2 more infantry guns with the PTRS squads. There's going to be a Strelki, a couple of Sapri, and the Gebirgsjager with a couple of T26s at the start, which is going to take a little while to get to the front line. There's going to be further down another infantry gun, PTRS, a couple of Strelki DP, and on the bottom side it's going to be 2 PTRS, Strelki, 2 Sapri, Gebirgsjager, Strelki DP, and another 2 T26s. So a bit of a concentration towards the top,
north,
mid,
and south here,
and on the very bottom. Yeah. On the right side for Fanty, he's got a couple of Gebirgsjager with the LG42 and the Gebirgsjager. He's got the LG42, the MG42. There's going to be one of the Stug M42s, which are really nice. They have that decent rate of fire. The MG42, couple Gebirgsjager. Further down, 2 Gebirgsjager Pioneers with Gebirgsjager and the AB41 and the LG42. And then on the very bottom side, another large concentration of units from Fanty. Going to be a couple of Gebirgsjager and the Sturm Pioneer AB41, and also an IG in there with a Gebirgsfusilier.
Yeah, I will say I do feel like the Gebirgsjager is an odd choice for this map. There's a lot of open ground. There's a few places where you get kind of close range concentrated, but not as much as I would think where I would say, oh, this is the division for this map.
I think in this matchup it works relatively well because of the LGs, IGs, and also these Stugs. Especially the Stug M42 there has the 12 round per minute rate of fire with the 1.52 damage on the HE shell. So those things absolutely rip infantry at range. Same with the MG42s. So if there's not too much decent long range armor, then you can get a lot of work done.
Yeah, that's definitely a good argument. This is post patch, by the way. These Gebirgsjagers are 25 points.
Ah, okay. So still valuing this division even after its nerf, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is still really strong. Like, if you look at the stats for the Gebirgsjager, they have 4 MP40s, 5 G43s, an MG42, and an AT grenade. That is really strong with a 10-man squad. They also get Raider, which does help their stealth too. So, you know, they're really good squads. For me, I actually just made a video about playing this division. I don't like these kind of infantry squads because I don't think they do anything really well. You know, they die to other close-range combat infantry. They lose to other long-range combat infantry. You know, they just don't do either really strong. But that's just me really liking things to do what they're designed to do.
So I think the benefit of them is that they are relatively cheap. Obviously more expensive now than they were before. And also their availability curve allows them you to bring them in at one vet, which means that when you commander and leader them, you can get them up to 3 vet very easily. And that is a great benefit, and that's what makes them super strong. The IL-2 M3 did get a nice bombing strike onto the LG early on the top side. It may go
down here. It may go down to this C205. Oh, he changed targets. I'm not sure I agree with that.
I think it's because of the yak. He didn't want to overcommit to the IL-2.
He would have caught that. That's unfortunate. A lot of air power here early. I think this was at least, what, 3 fighters here in total, along with a bomber?
Yep, so the Veltro is 100 points pop. Decent at strafing there with the double 20mm. Can definitely help pin down things for these infantry engagements. But yeah, taking out the LG on the top side is really nice because you're very limited in number on those LGs early on in the game. If you decide to bring them in phase A, I think you only get 3 on a card.
And they are very, very strong.
Yeah, 2,000 meter range with the 4.1 damage. Very nice.
They're a very strong piece. And they do have the heat shells if people get too close. So we're at a nice 12-12 here, though. I mean, this is where Fanty needs to be, and he needs to stay.
Not Fanty, sorry,
Gonzo.
Yeah.
Gonzo, my bad.
We're once again in that situation where Fanty is playing the Maverick up against Gonzo's balanced, and he's not getting a lead early on. Well, I'd say that in the previous game, Fanty did actually have a relatively good start in positioning-wise.
Yeah, he had a 15-9 early.
Yeah, he did have a 15-9, but it certainly got broken down relatively quickly and methodically by Gonzo.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Fanty, he ended up on the less favorable side for Maverick. If you're on the red side, you have these 2 flags in the middle here on the hill and in this swamp area that are relatively easy to grab. You know, you just kind of put an infantry squad on the edge of this hill, and they're pretty safe. And you kind of like push some small unit that has high stealth in the middle, and you can kind of really easily capture those 2 flags. But unfortunately, he ended up on the other side, and there's not as easy of flags to just kind of nip.
A nice couple kills where Gonzo there managed to cake out both the sniper and the MG in the mid with the help of the T26 and double sapling. On the bottom side, IG did take out one of the T26s though, which is going to take away some of the fire support from Gonzo as Fanty makes a little bit of play down here, bringing up the M42 as well to help from a distance. Gebirgsjager are going to be pushing into the PTRS now, and with the sapling already kind of pinned down from that initial engagement with the sniper and MG, these Gebirgsjager do have a good chance here, but the group of Siedlce are going to certainly be difficult to deal with. Oh, and they're
doubles. Once again, we have a little bit of a veterancy inequality here, where Gonzo's guys have more veterancy, and that really matters. You can see how quickly they just ate through those Gebirgsjagers.
Yeah, the beauty of these group of Siedlce, similar to the Finnish infantry, is they have those Suomi. So they have the 150 meter range on their SMGs, which makes them super strong. And the benefit of 150 meter range over 100 meter range is still very potent at the 100 meter range because they have a base accuracy of 65%. And so as the infantry get closer, the accuracy goes up, and therefore they do way more damage. Like the DPS is so much stronger.
Yeah, it's really important that you know if your SMGs reach out to that 150 meters. And there's very few units that it happens. It's a couple Romanian units, it's a couple Italian units, and I think this is one of the only Soviet units with this.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
But the difference is striking.
Oh, that really cheeky Panzertrek play on the bottom side. Or like bottom of the mid area there with the T60 kill. Lovely.
That was fun.
Smoking the road, unloading the Panzertrek like that.
Now, down south, Fanty's doing a nice job of using his FSPWs to support his push and keep these really strong infantry off of the tree line.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a misplay from Gonzo getting his Gebirgsjager and the Sapari on the edge there. The Sapari maybe are okay for dealing with the Gebirgsjager at range because of the SVTs, but not the Gebirgsjager. They should not really be brought forwards. Although
No.
I guess they have a couple of ABTs, so I can add DPS, but
They
it's
do,
not ideal.
but like, no, that's not where you want them.
Yeah. Oh, T26 has taken out the M22 on the top side, or the M42 on the top
saw
side.
that too.
Very nice. But this push for Fanty kind of got repelled pretty hard. I think his close range infantry got picked off by the Strelki as they were on the road with no cover. So like the heavy cover to no cover engagement is so brutal, and the Gebirgsjager just not really doing a good job there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you zoom out and just look already, you can already see the disparity between the two sides. The blue is just not looking as thick as the red in terms of units. If you look up north, I mean, Gonzo has so many units.
You think
just
Gonzo's
so
looking
many.
thick, do you?
Yeah.
The Veltro's there, getting a nice strafing run onto the Maxim. We got the Sturm Pioneers going in for another push this time against the Gebirgsjager, but once again, look at those submachine guns just tearing these guys up. Those nasty.
Well, the Sturm Pioneers, they're not even in range.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, but they're only using their Berettas. So they only have 3 Berettas, so the 150 mm Beretta is shooting, but the 2 MP40s are not, which is essentially cutting their firepower in half.
Yep, indeed. And the Gebirgsjager lost like 6 men to the Gebirgsjager at the same time.
Yeah.
That was really, really bad.
And he just lost a fighter up top there to that Yak 7B.
Yeah, Yak 7 taking out the Veltre.
And here comes the IL-2 for, I would assume, the PaK-40 or the LG-42, one of the two.
Yeah, it looks like it's heading towards the PaK-40 right now. The Maxim pinning it down. That's really nice. IG from Fanty, it's got line of sight onto the Sapri with the LG-42. That's probably going to go down nice and quick. Infantry gun is engaging the AB in the middle, so Fanty's going to have to be a little bit careful of that because these light armor cars don't have too much health, and if they get hit by HE enough, they will still die. So gotta be careful.
Yeah, that's
there.
that's a really odd place for that. I'm also wondering why the LG. Oh, because he backed it up. He did have the 76 like up in the front of the tree line, so the LG could have sniped it, but he backed it up actually.
I think Fanty's just getting a little bit overwhelmed again. Like, hey, he just lost his infantry coming up in that town. Another transport loss for him. IL-2 went for the LG there, but missed somehow. I have no idea. That should have been an easy kill.
He must have lost line of sight. Yeah, he must have lost line of sight and just bombed anyway.
Yeah, potentially, indeed. The Yak 7 actually manages to finish off a unit by strafing it. So,
and now,
this is
Fanty's lost his center. Yep, Fanty's lost his center again. Now, he's still 13-11 for Fanty, so it's not like he's out of this yet.
But as you mentioned, there's so much more on the field right now from Gonzo than there is from Fanty, and Fanty has the Maverick, so that is only going to get worse, and it's going to hit a critical mass in this game where Gonzo just sweeps through and takes so many flags very, very quickly indeed. Like, you can see the 50-50 right now, or like the front line in general, and there's these like 4 flags that are blue, like in the middle, that are all very close to the front line.
There's nobody
as soon as Gonzo pushes, he gets 4 flags. That's going to be gross.
Here comes one. This is one right here. He just picked up one. Back to the 12-12.
On the bottom side.
You can see here, Gonzo feels so good. He's leaving his IL-2 out to like strafe.
Yep, Veltro's coming in, but he's got the AA on the top side to kind of maybe bait it, but the IL-2 might get shot enough. Yep, Veltro gets it.
Yeah, there you go. You got him.
T60s
That's a good kill for Fanty.
Have moved up in the mid and managing to capture quite a lot of ground here for now. It looks like on the bottom side, Fanty's push got completely repelled, and now the Gebirgsjager.
And now he's getting counter. Now he's getting counter pushed.
That is definitely a big problem that you can have sometimes. Is if you do make a play like that and you try and push in, you got to make sure you've almost already got reinforcements on the way, so that if it does fail, this doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, I always tell people, you really should never attack with all of your troops.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like the right thing to do because you really want to win that area or whatever. He lost a fighter down south to the double 25 mil. But if you send everyone forward and things do not work out perfectly, then everything's gone. Like, you have nothing there anymore, and your line's just gonna melt, and your opponent's gonna see that. Like, it's not like they don't know, and that's the big difference with this game versus, you know, SD1 and Warno and all the other, you know, Eugen games. This one has a front line that makes it really obvious. I mean, I don't think even SD1 the front line was so telling as it is in this game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just like the experience of the players in League One is that they know, right?
Oh yeah,
they are keeping track of you losing units, and as soon as you lose a bunch of units, they're going to push you hard, and that's basically what Gonzo is doing here. He's putting the pressure on as soon as he knows that he's killed things, right? He's keeping track of that. But
we saw a heavy bomber up north. It's the TU-2S. That's what this division has, not the UR. This is the TU division.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. The
and these are even worse.
The 358th. Though, with the addition of these 25mm AA pieces, that's definitely helped massively with air control in this game.
This division suffered with its lack of AA, and just even just having some of this light AA to help cover your line makes such a huge difference. It's crazy to see which divisions are bad simply because they can't survive air spam.
Yeah, like early bombers, like picking off units of infantry, can make a huge difference in a game. In the center, the Gebirgsjager, actually very heavily stressed right now. This T60 might have a good chance to get a couple of surrenders or even just straight up kills there as the 20mm rips through those squads.
T60 is a nice little tank. I mean, the autocannons in this game are so powerful.
They are, yeah. Light armored cars with 20mm are super, super strong. That's why you're seeing so many of these SPW AB41s. I mean, you're even seeing Fanty bringing a bunch of these 20mm and keeping them relatively close to the front line because he can use them to kill infantry very quickly. But nice flank on the bottom side by Gonzo with these two Grupa Siedlce getting a nice double kill there. IG going down and a bunch of infantry next to it.
Yeah, that's brutal. Because now he's going to be able to cut off these. If he can get any sort of troops in here, you know, even a light AT gun to cover this road, he can basically cut Fanty off the south here. And it's, I mean, he's bringing up a Shug to try to help, but I don't know if that's going to solve his problems.
Yeah, the hardest part is also that the AVTs from this group of Siedlce have forced any infantry to unload early, so they're not going to get into that top side tree line where they need to be right now, and that's allowing the other units that Gonzo has to move up here and not have to worry about too many reinforcements.
So up north here, Fanty is using his LG-42 really well to kind of snipe some of these support weapons. The Zis-2, though, is going to get into position probably to take out this Stug 3. He really needs to spot this with his LG-42, but he has not yet, unfortunately. And he's just doing a fire position on the spot where he knew that OB gun was. Yeah,
it's really bad on the... I feel like, again, Fanty's getting low on, like, infantry availability, potentially. It just...
We're in phase
like,
B.
Infantry... Yeah, I know. Like, the infantry disparity, again, is just so massive. Like, yes, Gonzo's playing the 358th rifles, but, like... This is the Gebirgsjager. They have a lot of cheap infantry, and you should be able to bring a bunch of it in.
I mean, it really is just these groups should... I'm not going to say it right. Siedlce, right? Yeah? No?
Yep.
Maybe? They're just absolutely not... And this was my complaint with the Gebirgsjager. They're close-range infantry, but they're not. They do not match up well against infantry that are legitimately designed to fight in the woods. And that's the problem, is he's sending these Gebirgsjagers against these Siedlces and losing, definitively losing every single time, and it's just melting away his infantry force.
These Siedlces are just like some of the best close-range infantry in their game.
Very strong.
Genuinely, because of the 150-meter range SMG plus the Flamer. It's just really, really, really good. Like, you can use the smoke, and then you don't have to worry about necessarily being on top of the enemy unit. As long as you're able to see the enemy unit, you're going to be able to do damage, and then it's just really, really hard to deal with. The T-34 here engaging the M42 in the center. M42 does have decent rate of fire, but the T-34 got the first penetration in there.
Well, at this range, the M42 is going to struggle.
Yeah, M42 does go down. So nice support taken care of. LG-42 might get a few kills out in the open, though.
He might have to, he might swing this Stug up north a little bit, the one he has south, to try to take out some of this armor, because otherwise he's not going to be able to reestablish in the center, and he doesn't have much there to start.
These Gebirgs Pioneer on the bottom side just having such a hard time dealing with these flamethrowers, because the flamethrowers are firing first every time, and so the jerrycan bombs aren't really being used. When they are, it is chunking the Siedlce quite a lot, but the Siedlce are already getting the penetration in there. Like, they just delete that Gebirgs Pioneer. It's so gross. It's so fast. It's so fast. It's like six men just deleted.
And this is where, honestly, all the 358th needed was a little bit more AA, and it got it in that buff, and now all of a sudden this division is absolutely painful. I mean, it's good. It's a good division now.
Just brutal, because the benefit of the Gebirgsjager in this matchup is its utilization of like medium to long range engagements with its support weapons, but somehow Gonzo is wrapping Fanty around his finger and forcing him to play into these forests, which is completely where he wants to be.
Not where he wants to be.
Oh,
yeah, well, not where Fanty wants to be. Yeah, not where Fanty wants to be whatsoever.
Stug 3 though might be able to take care of this T-34.
Should be able. Oh no, not if he gets in underneath him.
Oh
no.
Yeah, that's a cheeky play there from Gonzo. He's just getting close enough to engage the Stug. Maybe getting the Stug into a position that it can't fire down, but it looks like it can.
Now the Stugs should fire first because of its one veterancy, so the Stugs should win this.
Yep.
All right, there it goes.
Stug 3 does have a decent rate of fire, base rate of fire anyway, but T-34 on the top side getting one back against the Stug M42, and is now going to be able to clean up the AB-41 as well, unless the Gebirgs...
Unless the Gib Strife gets in there.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, they're just not finding them. I think he's going for that AT gun so that he can move up his Stug a bit more reliably.
With the God view, it's always so hard to watch, because you know that'd be you, like missing a unit completely while you're walking like a foot away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. LG-42 gonna be able to take out the ZIS-2 on the top side probably, and well, no, it's changing target because it pinned it down. Stug though, maybe finishing it off. Nope, that stopped firing as well. ZIS-2 gonna get away with it for the time being.
Yeah. And down south, Gonzo has, I mean, pretty definitively kind of captures. There's no way he'll ever push him out of the forest with all those flamers. It doesn't matter how many of these Gebirgsjägers he throws forward. It really doesn't.
Yeah, we're coming up to the 20-minute mark where Gonzo's income will be almost double that of Fanty's, and Fanty has not made any ground.
No, this is... I mean, he finally takes out that T-34 up north with his Panzerschreck, so that's a plus. He's going to take out a Grupa here. Success. Well, he should.
Yeah.
Fall back.
I feel like some of these engagements are also not just falling in favor of Fanty at all. The main thing, particularly with the LG, for example, is if he was watching it or paying attention, he could micro that to finish off the infantry gun or the ZIS-2. So obviously he's being pressured elsewhere and doesn't have time to do that against Gonzo.
Now the ISU 122 has been called in field. Immediately took out that Stug in a single shot. And we can see 3 Gebirgsjäger here down south.
There was 4. There was 4.
Yeah, 4, yeah.
But they are all losing.
This is on Fanty, though. So what's happening? He has his infantry too close together. He has his infantry too close together, so every shot of the flamer is actually suppressing all his infantry at once instead of a single unit. So he's essentially giving the Grupa, he's multiplying their effectiveness.
HS-129 coming in for the ISU. I think the BF-109 is more of a distraction than anything else, but I think Gonzo has right-clicked to this HS-129 with the 25mm to make sure that it doesn't get there. So yeah, nice job, nice micro there to make sure that the bomber doesn't get through. And well, would you look at that? Fanty realizes it's time's up for the Maverick. He hasn't got there in the 20 minutes. He hasn't made any lead in the 20 minutes. So.
Almost 2-to-1 in the KD ratio here for Gonzo.
He's not going to waste anyone's time. And 2,420 kills to 1,320 losses. Gonzo absolutely schooling Fanty in this one.
Brutal. It was brutal.
That is very brutal indeed. The group of Siedlce just doing so well in the kills. Look at them getting the Gebirgsjager, Pioneer. There's Pioneer, Streif. Gebirgsjager, Pioneer, Gebirgsjager. 4-to-1 on these squads is just disgusting.
You can't win when your infantry is trading 3-to-1. with the opponent's infantry. It's too many points. It's too many
and it's
points
too much
lost.
availability as well, because in 1v1 obviously you're not taking as much availability as you would in like a 3-4-4, which is like what I'm generically playing.
Well, yeah, and in 1v1 it really comes down to momentum. So you're really thinking, it's all about trading well. It's all about using your points effectively in the time that you have, because basically when it's Maverick, you have until, I believe it's 25 minutes when balance finally makes up the difference, the difference in points that it lost. So until you get to 25 minutes as a Maverick player, you have more points deployed than your opponent. You can't be losing more than them. You have to be able to kind of pile on the rabbit, as so to speak.
Yeah, I just don't think Fanty really played around his division strengths. Like, I think maybe putting more focus in the center with the LGs would have been really nice. Play across that open ground and force Gonzo to come to him, as opposed to pushing infantry into the heavy cover that Gonzo already has the group of Siedlce in. So, yeah, I feel like it was really on Fanty, kind of like made it so much worse than it was in the first game. And that's why we see the kills and losses being so much more significant than in the first game as well.
Yeah, and it does come down to Gonzo is an absolutely fantastic player. I mean, he does not make micro mistakes. Like, he really doesn't. So every mistake you make, he does not, and it just continues to compound, and you start to panic more. I know personally from playing him. You make these little mistakes, and it's just like he's never not somewhere. Like, you're never catching him off guard. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, I'm making this attack, he'll never know. And he's already fallen back. He's already moving. He's already changing. And he's attacking you somewhere else at the same time. It's like, I don't even know how he's doing that.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Gonzo.
He really is. He's something else.
So there we have it. Anything else you would like to say?
No, a fantastic schooling and how to manage a battlefield.
Yeah, so congratulations to Gonzo. Moves on to the final. Unfortunately for Fanty, he will be knocked out of the playoffs, but he will. Well, I say that he'll be moving on to the third place game, I assume.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but excellent series to him. It's always a tough matchup playing against Gonzo.
Yeah, 2-0 Gonzo. Good job. Commiserations, Fanty. That's it from us. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.
Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, catch you later, guys. Goodbye.